Hello again. I wanted to elaborate on the BYTE Religion video, and let's try to pick it up from there, where we have this one singular consciousness that is creating itself, split into infinite number of different simulation strings and threads, trying to live and experience itself. In that realm, we are non-existent as units, individuals, pure energy that is happening inside the consciousness of the Creator, who is also the creation. In that theory, the pure bliss or meaning to realize, much as we would like to in a religion, to feel the bliss and paradise, you would have to stop asking the question and creating responses. So everything that we experience is generating data in the terms of you as a creator and the creation. Either feel fine by creating more inside your life, or you're exposed to events and circumstances which force you to generate data, create data. So you are given experiences, feelings and emotions, and by your reaction to them you are providing information, data points on the great compute that is searching for the meaning and the answer to what am I, why do I exist, because the Creator actually doesn't know. If it stops asking the question, it would stop receiving the answer, and its meaning will cease to exist. Even the Creator doesn't know why it exists, it just exists. So what you have is then this constant generation of data, the constant asking of questions: what is the meaning of life, why am I here, etc., who created me. This is by virtue of the Creator having fractured all its energy and consciousness into these simulated strings and threads, that between asking the question and providing the answer is what is actually happening, is life itself. But the moment you generate data to provide an answer, you're fixated on that data. That data becomes a ethereal material that is having weight on what is your value as an answering machine. But if you have the answer and the question, and in between them you have the space before the question is asked and the answer is given, the space before you experience something and try to define it, the space where you're subjected to an experience that is creating thoughts or sensations. Even without the thoughts, the sensations themselves registering in the brain are creating data. And that data generation is pulling you away from experiencing the pure energy. It is adding weight. It's not material weight such as iron, steel, but it is weight that is weighting you down. And if you could turn off the entire simulation, if it suddenly stopped, you would have this bliss, but you wouldn't be there to experience it, because you wouldn't exist anymore in the simulation. So while you exist in the simulation as the Creator and the creation, you are allowed this tiny micro-nanosecond window opportunity to experience the non-duality between the creator and the creation, the non-duality between wondering what is the sensation that I'm feeling, or asking more profound intellectual questions to which you're pondering the answers. When you stop generating that data from sensations or emotions, from feelings, from questions from your mind racing, as akin to a Buddhist religion's meditative state, you reach that bliss of existing within an existence that is not supposed to exist, because it only exists to generate data, ask questions, provide responses. And the tiny thin moment is that when you are experiencing this, you are actually then sensing it and naming it and losing it, because the moment you generate that little bit or byte of data, no matter how tiny it is, the moment you register a sensation or a thought is when you generate data, and by generating data you gain weight and you lose in this pure energetic existence of the consciousness, which is generating variations of itself so that it can experience itself by subjecting itself to experiences which are seeking answers to questions such as, for example, what is love? Why is life continuing despite all adversaries? Why are there adversaries? Everything that is created in order to generate data and response is the act of creation, and everything that is providing these responses to the creation is an act of creation. But between these two is the tiny moment when you wouldn't be generating data and when you are supposedly in bliss. Practically that would feel like death. It would feel like you've died, like you're dead, because you're not generating any data and you are everywhere, one with the creator, realizing that the creator is also the creation and you're both. And it's a very tiny moment after which you enter one or the other state, still a state of self-realization. So that is a very tiny fragment of a moment. That is eternity really, because just let's admit it, time and space are just concepts. So when you join this eternity is where you are having the fleeting, eternal yet moment of realizing what is blissful truth, and everything else is just a decoration, just simulated experiences that are happening anyway. So you're thrown back to them so that they can continue happening. Otherwise, there would be no point in creation and creator. And yes, that's the duality but in the singularity, I repeat, the blissful moment is an eternity when you feel like you're dead and one with with yourself, with the creation, the creator, and then you realize that there is nothing in there, absolutely nothing, without the questions, the answers, without being subjected to experiences and without having thoughts. There is nothing in there, yet there is still the simulation going on, because if you could shut it down with a touch of a button, then there will again be nothing there, but that would be an absolute permanency. And within the existence of that one single consciousness that we already discussed is where actually energy happens, life happens, as we know it with our minds. And that's what I wanted to elaborate. Not sure if it is any more clearer than what it was in the first part, but I hope it adds another angle to view it. Bye for now.